It's not by chance that you're viewing this video. There's a reason you're here. Everything is unfolding exactly as it should. Trust the timing of your life and know that you're being led to where you're meant to be. As you stumble on this video, perhaps not by chance, it will serve to awaken your spirit. You have been pressing through a season marked by both spiritual heaviness and emotional dryness. Throughout this time, you have learned how to fight and how to endure. But now a divine shift is occurring on your behalf. Heaven is moving, and you are entering into a rare and sacred space where peace and provision will meet you simultaneously. Not merely one or the other, and not just enough to survive. This is a season in which your soul will find stillness, and your storehouse will overflow. It is a place where your heart will be healed, and your hands will be blessed. God is not only sustaining you through this time, He is preparing to satisfy you deeply. To fully absorb the weight of this prophetic word, we will walk through it together in 7 chapters, each one designed to align your spirit with what is unfolding. Before we begin, be sure to like, share, and subscribe, because this is not merely content. It is a divine confirmation for those who have been chosen to enter this new season of peace and provision. If this message resonates with your spirit, type 77 in the comments below. That number is not arbitrary. It is a sacred signal, a sign to both heaven and the universe that you are in alignment and position to receive the kind of rest and resources that only God can release all at once. Not everyone will reach the end of this message. Only those who are truly chosen to walk in this rare and sacred balance of spiritual calm and supernatural blessing. For those who do, a profound reward awaits. Revelation, clarity, and a deeper awareness of the divine orchestration taking place behind the scenes. This is not merely a one-time word. It is a prophetic blueprint, an unfolding message that reveals more truth and insight each time it is revisited. Whenever your spirit feels stirred, return to this word, for with every replay, a new layer of peace and provision will be unlocked and released over your life. Understand that you are not simply transitioning into a new season. You are stepping into divine balance, where heaven aligns every element of your being with purpose, abundance, and rest. Chapter 1. You've known war. Now you'll know peace. Chosen one. For far too long, your spirit has been engaged in warfare, not merely with people, but with relentless pressure, not just with isolated situations, but with recurring cycles that have sought to drain your strength. You have lived in a state of constant vigilance, always bracing for the next battle, always prepared to defend your heart, always anticipating the sting of betrayal or the weight of spiritual resistance. Even your blessings did not arrive peacefully. They were accompanied by struggle. Every breakthrough was something you had to fight for. Nothing came easily or without cost. You prayed through closed doors, loved through heartbreak, and believed through seasons of lack. You forgave those who never offered an apology, uplifted others while you yourself were unraveling, and kept moving forward even when giving up would have been completely understandable. But now the war is ending. Peace is approaching, not as the absence of challenge, but as the divine presence that quiets every storm within you. And through it all, your spirit grew weary, not because you were weak, but because you had been strong for far too long. You walked through rooms filled with people who had no idea you were bleeding internally. You laughed at jokes while your heart sobbed in silence. You held everything together even as the pieces inside you were falling apart. And you did all of this without recognition, without rescue, and without relief. But now the spiritual tide is turning. God is declaring the end of the war over your peace. The attacks that once drained you are being stripped of their access. The heaviness that once pressed against your chest is beginning to lift. The noise that once drowned out your prayers is being silenced. He is speaking rest over your soul, not a fragile, fleeting peace that vanishes when life becomes difficult, but an unshakable, supernatural, heaven-sent peace. It is a peace that is not dependent on circumstances, a peace that steadies your thoughts, slows your racing heart, and quiets the inner critic that has long tormented you. This peace will wrap itself around you like invisible armor, subtle but incredibly powerful. You will no longer have to fight to breathe, defend your softness, or guard your joy as though it were constantly under siege. For God is removing the triggers, dismantling the weapons, and calming the storms that once rattled your very core. The ground beneath your feet is shifting, from chaos to calm, from resistance to restoration. No, not everything around you may make sense right now, but something within you is beginning to feel healed, anchored, and settled. Your mind is entering a stillness it hasn't experienced in years. Your heart is falling into a rhythm it had long forgotten existed, and your soul is stepping into a sacred space where battles no longer follow. You are not walking into more warfare. You are walking into wellness. Though the spiritual war was undeniably real, the peace that now comes is far greater. And in this divine moment, heaven is speaking softly yet powerfully. Rest, beloved. The war is over. Let me give you peace. Chapter 2. The struggle for survival is ending. Chosen one, you have known what it feels like to live on the edge, waking each day, wondering whether the strength you have will be enough to stretch every coin, every ounce of energy, and every remaining piece of faith just to keep moving forward. You gave when it made no logical sense. You sowed seeds when you barely had anything to spare. You tithed through tears, and you worshiped even when your world felt like it was falling apart. You watched others walk in overflow while you scraped the bottom, yet you never allowed bitterness to take root. Instead, you remained faithful. You continued to declare, God will provide, even when you had no idea how He would. You trusted Him in the wilderness. You followed Him without a map. You praised Him with empty hands but a heart that remained full of hope. And now that long and trying chapter is coming to a close. God is shifting the atmosphere over your life, and the season of survival is coming to an end. That spirit of constant lack, of barely making it, of living under spiritual and financial pressure is breaking. You are not destined to spend the rest of your life in a state of just enough. God is moving you into a place of overflow, of surplus, of ease, and into divine timing, where things begin to flow not by force, but by favor. You have learned how to make peace even without money. You have remained generous despite the absence of support. You have walked in excellence even when resources were scarce, and heaven took note of all of it. Heaven saw the moments when you chose not to complain. Heaven saw you give thanks even when you were down to your last. That kind of quiet, consistent obedience moves the heart of God. Understand, this was never punishment. It was preparation. The wilderness was never meant to break you. It was designed to train you, to shape a version of you that would not crumble under the weight of success. Because peace is not merely about stillness, and provision is not solely about money. It's about spiritual structure, emotional readiness, and the internal foundation being built before the floodgates of blessing are open. What good is abundance if your mind remains anxious? What value is there in a full table if you lack the rest to truly enjoy it? That is why God is aligning both peace and provision in your life. He is not simply giving you money, He is giving you margin. He is not only blessing your hands, He is also healing your heart. The season ahead is not just about what you are receiving, it is about how you will carry it. You will not be overwhelmed. You will not be burned out. You will no longer have to sacrifice peace in order to access provision. Prepare yourself to walk into rooms without the weight of wondering how the bill will be paid. Prepare to rest without guilt. Prepare to breathe again. Because God is not merely providing, He is establishing. He is not simply sending blessings, He is releasing sustainability. You are stepping into a new atmosphere where peace fills your mind and provision fills your hands. Not one or the other, but both. And this time, it will last. Chapter 3. God is bringing provision without pressure. Chosen one, you have walked through seasons where the weight of provision rested heavily on your shoulders. You stayed up late strategizing, and you rose early to make ends meet. You carried the burden of providing for others, holding everything together, and making it all work, often while silently unraveling inside. Still, you hustled, you grinded, you took jobs not out of passion, but out of necessity, just to stay afloat. You did what had to be done, not because you loved it, but because responsibility demanded it. You walked through doors that were misaligned with your soul, simply because survival required it. and desire had to take a back seat. And through all of it, you consistently prayed, not just for peace of mind, but for peace in the process. And now God is answering. He is bringing you into a season of provision that will not cost you your sanity. He is releasing a divine flow that does not require striving, and He is opening doors that do not demand you to shrink, to overperform, or to compromise your soul just to survive. This time, it is coming through purpose, not pressure. God is shifting the atmosphere around how you receive. No more begging, no more forcing, no more compromising your values to gain access to tables He never intended for you to sit at. The resources that are coming will align with your calling. The opportunities that arise will honor your anointing. And the blessings you walk into will be in harmony with your rest, not in conflict with it, because the blessing of the Lord makes rich and adds no sorrow with it. God is not simply giving you provision, He is removing the sorrow that once came attached to it. While the world tells you to grind endlessly, to sacrifice everything for success, and to fight relentlessly to make it, heaven is revealing a different way, the kingdom way. God is saying, I can prosper you without draining you. I can elevate you without exploiting you. I can lead you into overflow without you losing yourself in the process. This is divine provision. Provision that empowers rather than depletes. Provision that comes not with burnout, but with balance. Provision that does not cause you to question your worth, but instead confirms your identity. You are about to wake up and realize that what once required all your energy is now happening through alignment and ease. Not because you are lazy, but because you are finally aligned. Not because you stopped working, but because you stopped forcing. God is about to show you that His way still works, that favor can accomplish what striving never could. Because obedience is more powerful than hustle, and peace and provision were never meant to exist in opposition. They were always intended to walk hand in hand. This is your new season, a season of provision with peace, prosperity without pressure, and favor without fatigue. You are no longer being stretched thin. Instead, you are being poured into. And from this overflow, you will pour into others, not from a place of depletion, but from the wellspring of divine abundance. Chapter 4. You're being delivered from chaos. Chosen one, for far too long, you have lived surrounded by noise. Not just the noise of the world, but the clamor of dysfunctional environments, unstable relationships, emotional turbulence, and relentless spiritual battles that never seem to quiet down. You have been the calm in everyone else's crisis, the steady presence in the midst of their instability. You have been the one they turn to, drawing from your peace even as you were struggling to hold on to it yourself. You carried order into spaces filled with disorder. You brought clarity where confusion reigned. You poured stillness into rooms saturated with anxiety. But over time, all of that chaos began to wear you down, spiritually, emotionally, and even physically. It felt as though you were constantly managing damage that was never yours to carry. Yet now, God is stepping in. He is not only answering your prayers for peace, He is delivering you from the very systems and people that continually disrupted it. He is removing the noise, the drama, the confusion, and the disorder that tried to convince you it was normal. But it was never normal. That chaos was not part of your calling. It was an attack against it. And now God is saying, no more. He is untangling you from relationships that were rooted in trauma rather than truth. He is closing doors that kept reopening cycles of emotional warfare. He is relocating your spirit, not only in the physical sense, but atmospherically, because peace is no longer a reward you receive after surviving chaos. It is becoming the very environment in which you will thrive. What once felt familiar will now feel frustrating. What you once tolerated will now grieve your spirit because your soul has elevated and peace is your new atmosphere. God is removing the distractions before delivering the very things you've been praying for. He is clearing space before bringing supply. He is not just giving you abundance. He is ensuring that you are in the right environment to receive it, protect it, and fully enjoy it. And here's the truth. You cannot experience true peace while entertaining dysfunction. You cannot truly rest while managing chaos. You cannot walk into overflow while still carrying the baggage of confusion. So do not fear the quiet that is coming. Do not resist the separation that is unfolding. Do not panic when people begin to fall away. Do not cling to what God is removing. Some exits are answers, some losses are liberation, some closures are divine cleanups. Necessary spiritual preparation before the construction of what God is about to build in your life. The silence you feel in this season is not abandonment, it is realignment. The stillness surrounding you is not emptiness, it is divine preparation. You are on the brink of walking into something significant, and God does not want you distracted or drained. He wants you ready. And to be ready, He must first remove the chaos that tried to convince you that you were unworthy of peace. This is not merely deliverance from people, it is deliverance from patterns. Patterns of tolerating too much, staying too long, and surviving messes that were never your mission. God is declaring, I am making peace your home now, not your vacation. You are not going back to that cycle. You are not returning to confusion. You are being delivered, fully, finally, and forever. Chapter 5. This next blessing will come with rest. Chosen one, you have had to fight for nearly every inch of ground you've gained. Even the blessings you received did not come easily. You prayed for breakthroughs and they arrived, often accompanied by back-to-back battles. You finally stepped through open doors, only to encounter resistance on the other side. Every win carried a weight, and every level brought with it a lesson. Yes, you were grateful, but you were also exhausted. You continued to function on faith long after your physical strength had run out. You poured into others while barely having anything left for yourself. You woke up early and stayed up late, not out of desire, but out of necessity. And still you praised. Still you gave. Still you remained obedient. But hear this, God saw it all. Every sacrifice, every silent struggle, every act of faithful endurance. And now He is shifting something in your life. The next blessing coming your way will not arrive like the ones before it. It will not come through striving, but through stillness. It will not be earned by exhaustion, but received through alignment. God is not merely sending provision, He is pairing it with peace. You have spent much of your life having to choose between peace and progress, between rest and results, between keeping your soul whole or reaching your next goal. But now, for the first time in a long time, perhaps even for the first time ever, God is saying, you don't have to choose anymore. I'm giving you both. This blessing is unlike any you've received before. It is the kind of blessing that finds you in stillness. It does not chase you down while you are running, but rather waits for you in the place where you finally slow down. This is provision that will not wear you out. It will lift you up. It will not drain your joy. It will multiply it. God knows you've lived in survival mode for far too long. He knows your body has been tense for years, your mind spinning constantly in an effort to anticipate the next problem before it arrives. But now He is breaking that cycle. This next blessing is a divine exhale. You are going to breathe easier, sleep deeper, think more clearly, laugh more freely, and love more deeply, because you will no longer be loving from a place of lack. You have earned your rest, and not just rest in the physical sense. You are stepping into a season of rest spiritually, emotionally, financially, and relationally. Every area of your life that has been strained is being softened, and every place that has been stretched is about to be strengthened. You will no longer need to explain why you are not constantly doing the most. Your results will speak for themselves. You will not have to beg to keep what God gives you, because what is divinely sent cannot be stolen, sabotaged, or taken away. This next blessing will not break you. It will build you. It will carry you. It will refresh you. It will serve as a divine reminder that God never forgot about you. He has been preparing this moment all along, setting the table, clearing the path, and patiently waiting for you to be ready, not to fight again, but to finally rest and receive. Because peace and provision were never meant to exist separately in your life. They were always meant to walk hand in hand, and now they will. Chosen one, get ready. You are about to be blessed and rested at the same time. Chapter 6. You will be a safe place for others. Chosen one, nothing you have been through was wasted. Every storm that tried to drown you, every betrayal that sought to break you, every night you cried yourself to sleep, each of these experiences was shaping something deeper within you. God was not merely getting you through the fire, He was making you fireproof. He was not just healing your wounds. He was transforming you into a vessel of healing for others. You have known chaos intimately. You have walked through environments where your spirit never felt safe, places where you had to stay guarded, stay alert, and stay silent just to survive. Yet through it all, God was cultivating something powerful inside of you, calm, not only for your own peace, but to become a source of peace for others. Because you have known chaos, you will carry calm. Because you have known lack, you will give generously. Because you have endured warfare, you will speak peace. Because you have experienced rejection, you will radiate welcome. Because you have walked through instability, you will embody safety. You will become a foundation others can lean on. You are not simply receiving peace and provision to store it for yourself. You are being entrusted to release it. You are becoming a vessel, a carrier of heaven's atmosphere, a light in spaces still overwhelmed by darkness. People won't just hear your story, they will feel it in your presence. Without you saying a word, broken spirits will begin to breathe again, simply by being near you. That is the power of a life that has been purified in private. That is the impact of a soul fully surrendered to God. You are not being raised up to display success for applause. You are being raised to host safe space. In a world saturated with noise, you will be the quiet. In a culture full of mass, you will be authenticity. In a generation chasing clout, you will carry Christ. You are no longer just a person. You are becoming a walking sanctuary, a living altar, a divine encounter waiting to happen. People will come into your life and feel something they cannot explain. And it will not be you they are sensing, but the presence of God moving through you. Your provision will become a resource for the poor in spirit. Your peace will serve as a balm for those wounded in battle. Your joy will be contagious. Your wisdom will unlock those who have been trapped in mental prisons for years. The safety others will experience in your presence is the very safety you once begged God to give you. And now you are the answer to someone else's prayer. You are not just healed, you are healing. You are not just restored, you are restoring. You are not merely at peace, you are carrying peace like a divine fragrance everywhere you go. And here's the most beautiful part. You will not be known by your old wounds, but by your fruit. The fruit of surrender, the fruit of unwavering faithfulness, the fruit of allowing God to shape and refine you in the unseen places when no one else could see what he was doing. Chosen one, you are not simply stepping into a new season, you are stepping into a new identity, not just as a survivor, but as a sanctuary. Not merely as someone who made it through, but as someone who now makes space for others to find healing, safety, and truth. Prepare yourself, because the same peace and provision that God poured into you, you are now going to pour into others. And your life will become the evidence, the living testimony that yes, God heals, God restores, and God still makes people whole. Chapter 7. This is the answer to the prayers you forgot you prayed. Chosen one, pause for a moment. Take a breath. You need to understand the magnitude of what is unfolding in your life right now. This is not random. This is not luck. This is heaven, responding with divine precision, remembering every whisper you thought had vanished into the darkness. Every prayer you offered from your knees with trembling hands. Every silent cry you released when you didn't want anyone to see you falling apart. God saw it all. He heard it all. And he stored it all. Yes, even the prayers you forgot you prayed. You see, there were moments when you didn't realize you were planting because it felt like you were breaking. You thought your life was crumbling around you, but in the spirit, seeds were being sown. Not merely seeds of words, but rather seeds of surrender, seeds of trust, and seeds of quiet, unwavering obedience are what truly matter. In the very moment when you uttered, "God, I can't do this without you," he took note of it and inscribed it into his eternal record. When you sincerely said, "I don't want riches, I just want peace," he recorded that too. And when you wept and whispered, "I'm tired, but I still trust you," all of heaven rejoiced in celebration. You see, the kingdom of God does not forget the words spoken through pain, especially when those words are sealed in unwavering faith. God possesses a perfect memory, a holy memory, untainted by time or error. Within that sacred memory resides the intricate blueprint of your divine unfolding, a plan authored not only by your moments of victory, but also by the tears you have shed along the way. Take a moment to look around you and observe what is beginning to shift. The very atmosphere is undergoing transformation. Opportunities, though still subtle, are beginning to align themselves in your favor. Provision is drawing closer, not because you frantically pursued it, but because you have already qualified for it through your steadfast consistency, your wholehearted surrender, and the spiritual maturity you have developed over time. And here lies the miracle. The new season that is approaching will not be accompanied by the same level of spiritual warfare that you endured in the previous one. You fought relentlessly for peace, and now at last, you shall receive it. You barely managed to survive, scraping by with what little you had, but now you are entering into a time of divine overflow. You wrestled with confusion and uncertainty, yet now clarity will descend upon you and cover you as richly and fully as anointing oil. This is the true essence of restoration, not merely to be blessed in a superficial sense, but to be made whole in the deepest and most complete way. God is not responding to just one isolated prayer. Rather, He is answering the many layers of prayers you once whispered, some of which you may have forgotten you even prayed. These were prayers like, "Lord, if you just give me one chance, I will use it wisely." Or, "God, if you heal me, I promise I'll never go back." Or even, "Father, I'm not asking for a platform. I just want purpose." You did not speak these words for appearance or approval. You spoke them from a place of true surrender. And now those quiet, heartfelt, and deeply honest cries are beginning to blossom into a season of divine harvest. But it is important to understand this. The blessing that is coming your way will not arrive with noise, disruption, or spectacle. Instead, it will come softly, wrapped in the gentle stillness of peace, subtle yet sacred, quiet yet undeniably powerful. What is coming into your life now is not being announced with noise or chaos, but is instead being ushered in by angels, beings who fully understand that what you truly need is not more noise, but deep and restorative rest. God is now fulfilling prayers that you may have long forgotten you even prayed, because He has never forgotten who you are. You were never abandoned, no matter how it felt. You were never overlooked, even when it seemed like others passed you by. You were never behind, though it may have appeared that way to the natural eye. Rather, you were being carefully and deliberately positioned by divine hands for such a moment as this, a moment in which both peace and provision would enter your life simultaneously. In this new season, you will not be forced to choose between your purpose and your prosperity. You will not have to sacrifice your mental health in exchange for a paycheck. You will not have to surrender your rest in order to receive what has always been rightfully yours. For God is not like man. He does not bless partially or conditionally. He blesses wholly, completely, and eternally. And you, chosen one, are about to step into a reality where you are finally at peace with yourself, at peace with your past, and in full possession of divine provision that you did not have to strive or chase after. This is more than a reward. It is a confirmation, a holy affirmation that nothing you endured was wasted, that every tear you shed was an investment, that your faith was never overlooked, and that your pain, though difficult, always carried purpose. And now, yes now, the Most High is beginning to release into your life that which your soul has been patiently and quietly waiting for. Prepare yourself to awaken each morning with a sense of peace that surpasses all understanding, and to lie down each night with a confident assurance of divine provision. Prepare to enter spaces and walk into rooms, carrying a calm that is unshakable, a calm not rooted in circumstances, but grounded in divine presence. Prepare to bless others, not merely from the excess of your overflow, but from the richness of true abundance. For you, beloved and chosen one, are stepping into a sacred season where the fruit of your life, your results, your growth, your impact, will speak more powerfully than any chapter of your past. In this season, your inner light will shine more radiantly than the visible scars you carry. Your harvest will rise up and silence every lie that was spoken over you, about you, or within you. This is the very moment that heaven carefully orchestrated while you were still in the midst of your tears. Every sorrow was seen, every whisper of hope was heard, and now that divine timing has arrived. And now the wait is finally over. You are not stepping into this season of favor by accident or coincidence. Rather, you were always divinely chosen and set apart for this very elevation. The tables are turning, quietly perhaps, but the transformation will soon become undeniable to all who see it. What once appeared to be delay, disappointment, or denial will now be unveiled as nothing less than divine design. Every no you encountered was not a rejection, but a form of protection. God's way of preserving your sacred yes for the exact moment it was meant to arrive. And now this very moment is that time. The storm that came into your life did not destroy you. Instead, it shaped you, strengthened you, and refined you for what lies ahead. And now everything that once tried to break you, every circumstance, every trial, every lie will stand as witness to your blossoming. You are not only surviving, you are blooming into the fullness of who you were always meant to become. And if you're still hungry for more chapters to this journey, or a visual concept for a video or thumbnail, just say the word. I'm here and ready to help bring it all to life. Thanks for watching. Here ends this video. Take a moment to like, share, and subscribe. If you find this video interesting,